Bienvenidos a un programa más de la serie. Hoy en Adelante, un reportaje sobre el hostigamiento escolar conocido como bullying. También la supervisora del condado de Milwaukee por el Distrito 12, Peggy Romo West, y Juan Ruiz y Marisol Cervera del programa de drogas y alcohol del Centro de la Comunidad Unida, UCC. Los niños y jóvenes en edad escolar pueden sufrir el hostigamiento de sus compañeros conocido como bullying, sin que sus padres lo sepan. Este acoso es definido como cualquier tipo de maltrato psicológico, verbal o físico producido entre escolares. En el siguiente reportaje revisaremos algunos de los aspectos de este problema, ofreciendo a los padres algunas ideas de cómo ayudar a sus hijos.
It's me, you see, your neighborhood bully, baddest kid in the street that you ever did meet. I'm the one that steals your lunch money, knock you out in back alleys. After school, I'll find a geek and shove him in his locker free.
Bullying is a really current, very relevant issue, not only in Milwaukee, but I mean nationwide. It's starting to receive a lot of attention.
To break down bullying, I will not be a silent bystander. I will not keep it a secret anymore.
Casa Romero Renewal Center is a Jesuit spirituality center serving mostly the Latino community here in Milwaukee. We have 3 different areas of programming. We have family programs, adult spirituality program, and then we have youth programs. And so our bullying retreats falls under that youth programs umbrella.
There was this presentation on bullying, and we kind of saw how much it affected people. We came here to our facilitators and we started asking them like, oh, isn't there something we can do? Like, can we do a retreat on bullying so that these younger kids would know before we did? Because we were already in high school and we were still dealing with those problems.
We go into area schools. We do this retreat mostly for 5th and 6th grade classes. We use high schoolers to help facilitate those retreats.
In my school, I will remember that it's okay to be different and to be myself.
I will use my voice to speak my truth.
On the one hand, we're working so hard to combat bullying on the middle school level, and these high schoolers are just helping us do that. But when I step back and think about it, I think, wow, you know, we're actually doing something at the high school level too, where there may have been some bullying. Now, these high school students, they say, I remember that, you know, I just told 6th graders that this is how they should handle this situation, so I'm gonna do it with my group of friends.
I used to be a bully. I used to bully my best friend right now. I realized my actions and what I was doing, and I really realize them now in the bullying retreats that we do here.
Me in particular, I never thought I was bullied because I was kind of more the tough kid. But I didn't realize that in ways I was actually being a bully.
Working here and just experiencing all these retreats and seeing these kids, like, I was like, I could have done something for him, you know?
We tell the students that there's 3 roles in bullying. The bully, the victim of bullying, and then the bystander. Most of the time, we're watching it happen. We're watching the new kid be, you know, excluded.
We try to empower them to do something that you can stand up and you can be better. You can help out a lot of different people.
Even if you're not being bullied and you're not a bully, you're not exempt, you know, you gotta be on the lookout for ways that you can stand up for people.
I will invite the new kid to my lunch table. Or I will invite the new kid to sit at my table.
If one kid is feeling vulnerable, then all he needs is another friend.
I've seen kids really transform. You know, it's amazing because it's one day. These kids get emotional. I mean, they'll break up into their small discussion groups and you'll have a girl crying because she's finally realizing, I'm the bully.
It was my first small group. I took them and I realized that I had the school bully and the girl who was being bullied both in my small group. They shared and they talked about it, and at the end of the retreat they actually ended up crying and giving each other hugs, and they're still friends today.
At the retreat, I learned that you could bully someone without even touching them.
I remember that what I say could hurt somebody else.
To stop and think about what people might feel inside.
We play a game and we kind of put a label on their backs, and we have them go around and read the label and then treat them how their label tells them to be treated. And they realize how much it hurts.
Bullying is not just what we think of, you know, that big tough kid punching people, taking people's lunch money. We talk about bullying as physical, but also relationship bullying, so excluding people, isolating people.
There was this little kid and he put up his hand really honestly and he said, hey, what if the bully's my friend?
I remember that gossip is bullying too. With my friends, I'm going to stop passing rumors.
When we get bullying out of this box of, you know, sort of the street fighting concept, the kids are like, oh, wow, yes, I've seen that.
their aha moments, like, oh, that I do that, or oh my God, I can't believe it. It just is amazing.
I will remember that the bully may have been a victim of bullying herself.
Teacher always bashing me.
Stop trying, you'll never succeed.
Daddy trying to thrash at me.
You're only one more mouth to feed.
Now do you see why I don't even try? I go through this alone as my life passes me by. No one has ever understood me. That's why I am this girl you see.
You gotta change your ways.
I ain't gonna change my ways, no, I was born this way.
The reason they're bullies is because they've been hurt. So hurt people end up hurting other people.
I think a lot of fixing bullying starts with understanding. It starts with, seeing you not as an other, but as someone that I'm connected to. And if I can try and understand maybe what you're going through and where you're at and have some compassion for you, it will become much more difficult for me to be mean to you and to pick on you and to treat you like you're lesser than me.
The bully's taking power from you. He's taking your power. He's taking something from you that you had in the beginning, or he wouldn't have been able to take it from you in the first place.
Parents, most of all, have to show their kids that that's what they should do. They should find their voice, not stay quiet for everything they do.
I do see some unique elements just working with the Latino community about bullying. For example, I don't think that bullying is something that gets a lot of conversation time in this community.
Latino parents are really strict, and that's one of the, for example, that's one of the things that stops children from talking to them, because they think anything that they do is wrong. So I think parents should just really talk to them, because communication is the most important thing.
Could my kids come to me now? Yeah, they can. Could I have came to my parents? I don't know.
A lot of the kids, though, have wonderful, wonderful parents. They're just not necessarily used to that level of involvement in their kid's life and in their kid's school life.
If they're seeing signs of maybe their kid withdrawing, not wanting to share a lot about school, or maybe even coming to you, or coming home from school crying, or coming home from school angry, or
searching for, that inner experience that the kid is having and getting them to share that. So it doesn't always happen at home. And a lot of kids bully because at home they're not receiving the attention that they want, or things are really difficult at home because of some family issue. And so people express those experiences and those challenges in all different ways.
You gotta keep it real with yourself or seal your fate. You got one life to live, why embrace the hate? Inside we all fight, the good and the bad. You know the little boy's telling you the righteous path to go, but I know that life has been hard on you. To do what's right, so wrong is all that's grown from you. Rotten fruit, you see how the starving youth have fed the hate, and now they're all poison too. And did they ever tell you about the golden rule? How you treat others, you receive it too. Yeah, that's what they call karma, dude. So I'm gonna do what I've been called to do. I'm gonna stand up for the broken youth, the ones that lost their life for the hating you. It's time to change, I got faith in you. She made a change and you can make it too. She's gonna change her ways.
We do this one dynamic, we call it the mud talk.
The lead facilitator starts playing in the mud.
And then I start talking about mud. And I talk about how mud is sort of like that dirty stuff that we do to one another. We have a teacher who's wearing a white t-shirt, and I go up and I say, something about a student. Oh, Julie, did you hear what Amy said? And I hug her and get her all dirty on the back of her shirt, and the kids all are shocked.
You might think that it's just affecting you. It doesn't really matter, you're only getting yourself dirty, but it spreads really quick. And then she goes and she shakes our hands, and we go and we shake the kid's hand, and as soon as you know it, everyone's dirty. Everyone has mud on their hands.
They sit there with that mud on their hands for a while, and they don't like how it feels. And eventually we say, do you want to wash yourself clean? Do you want to kind of clean up your act?
They can make a change. They don't have to be dirty. They don't have to be spreading all this negativity.
And they all come up and they're washing their hands, and oftentimes we're crying, our high school facilitators are crying, they might be crying, and they really feel like that symbolism really reaches them. They're very touched by, I made a commitment today to clean up my act, to not be the person who's spreading mud, spreading bullying, and instead to be this empowered bystander and break down bullying.
I want to break down bullying.
Thank you, Casa Romero. Thank you, Casa Romero.
Don't be the bully. Don't be the bully.
Okay.
Para encontrar más información sobre Casa Romero Renewal Center, usted puede visitar www.casaromero.org o hablando con sus hijos e investigando juntos en el Internet. Peggy Romo West es la primera latina en la historia en ocupar un puesto como supervisora en el condado de Milwaukee. Después de ser elegida para el Distrito 12 en el 2004 y reelecta en el 2008 y 2012, ella se encuentra sirviendo por tercera vez a una población de 53,000 habitantes en el lado sur de la ciudad. En nuestra conversación, la supervisora Romo West nos habla de algunas de las iniciativas que han promovido en favor de la comunidad latina. Peggy, thank you very much for being with us on Adelante.
And thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, Peggy. We know that you have been promoting lots of initiatives inside of your work at the county board. Can you tell us what will be for you the most important ones that will benefit also Latinos?
Well, some of the most important initiatives I think that we're working on right now have to do with health and human services. So we're working on a mental health redesign, which I think is really important because what we're trying to do is we're trying to move that out into a more community-based focus so that Latinos and other people can get culturally specific treatment in their own neighborhoods, which will be really nice. The other thing that I've been working on really hard is we did pass a resolution in regard to the sheriff and ICE detainers. And so the resolution that I drafted and got a lot of support from the county board on, just basically an ICE detainer is a request from ICE to hold an individual who may have immigration issues, and they may not have immigration issues. It could be someone who's here on a student visa, who gets in trouble or has contact with law enforcement, and sometimes ICE will come in and they will put a hold on that person. So the resolution that the county board did basically asks the sheriff not to hold people unless they fit into certain criteria. If you were, if you're being accused of murder or domestic abuse or something, a felony, then of course we would honor the ICE detainer. But otherwise traffic, misdemeanors, we have asked that he does not honor those.
We know that there is a financial reason to also create this initiative, and we also know that there is a part of the network that is not supporting and is not helping to complete this whole initiative. Can you talk about that?
Sure. There is a financial component, and actually there's been a number of states, a number of counties that have passed the same resolution. I actually received assistance on the resolution that I drafted from Cook County. And the reason is because we're doing a lot now, especially in the state of Wisconsin, to promote people not being incarcerated. So we're doing a lot with electronic monitoring because we know that it's cheaper for us to allow people to be at home and allow them to feed themselves and clothe themselves and pay their own rent and their own utilities. The same thing kind of goes with the ICE detainer. Once we're detaining people, we're paying to feed, to clothe, to monitor them when they could very well be at home, as long as they don't pose a threat to themselves or to anybody else in the community. And so the sheriff has really resisted both. The sheriff is not a big or not a big fan of electronic monitoring. He's also not a fan of not honoring ICE detainers. And so we have met with some resistance from the sheriff.
Okay, we probably need to invite him to talk about that, because we understand that there are very good reasons for all the initiative that many groups have been working with you, Voces de la Frontera and MICA and many other humanitarian organizations that really care about doing something good for the community, because these detainees have their families and they are good people who probably were in their way to work, in their way to pick up their kids to the school, and they are good people that probably are trying to change their legal status, but it's not necessary to
Right.
call immigration and to go through all the procedures that
Right.
going through.
Right. And in some cases, there are people who are here legally who just because they're here on a visa or they have a green card or they're, resident aliens, they already have that connection to ICE, and so they get informed, or ICE gets informed that they're being held, and then they come in and review the case. And in a lot of cases, it's really not necessary. The other thing for me is that I work really closely with District 2, with Officer Jesus Gloria, who's the community liaison officer and does a wonderful job. We spend probably 3 days out of the week every summer trying to build Black Watch. Black Watch is one of the most effective tools that we have in order to create safer neighborhoods, which everybody wants. And immigration has been a huge part of keeping our neighborhoods safe. We wanted to create the atmosphere where if you know that there's something going on in your neighborhood, if you're a witness, if you believe there's a nuisance property, that you feel comfortable being able to come forward and being able to report that and to be a part of keeping your neighborhood safe without worrying about calling the police or having contact with the sheriff's office or possibly putting yourself in jeopardy because your legal status, your immigration status may not be what you desire it to be at the moment.
You are so right. It's so important that the residents can trust the police,
right.
in order to keep the
right.
safe environment.
Right. And that was the other part of my desire to do this legislation, as you really have two different stories in the city of Milwaukee, because you have the Milwaukee Police Department, who has an open, on-file letter saying, we don't care. We don't care. We're not going to ask you for your Social Security number. We're not going to report you. We just want your help in assisting us. And then you have the sheriff, on the other hand, who, anytime you have contact with the sheriff, you are, ICE is able to come in then and review those databases and to get your information.
That is so wrong. Safe communities has been criticized by using resources against people who are good people instead of spending those on really searching for those that can put at risk the community.
Right. You're very, very true. And so I was really, I was very happy to have, again, the assistance of Cook County and other counties throughout the United States that have already passed this legislation and are using it. And they really gave us some great feedback. And we were able to craft this resolution. And, I'm very proud of it. I was very proud of my colleagues for passing it. It really wasn't a hard sell. It was something that they really wanted to do. And as you stated, they saw it as a human rights issue.
We were there, and it was so good to know that people in the county board care about providing quality life for the residents. Peggy, where and how can people contact you in case that they have comments for you in your work as a supervisor?
I'm always happy to hear from people, and they can reach me at 414-278-4269. Or all the county supervisors, our email address is our first name, so it's Peggy.RomoWest at milwcnty.com.
Peggy, thank you very much for being with us on Adelante.
Thank you for having me.
Investigaciones indican que los nuevos inmigrantes latinos en proceso de aculturación enfrentan mayores riesgos de abusar el uso de alcohol y drogas, mientras reemplazan sus tradiciones y creencias con otras diferentes. United Community Center, el Centro de la Comunidad Unida, ofrece servicios de rehabilitación para personas con problemas de abuso de drogas o alcohol. Juan Ruiz y Marisol Cervera son parte del equipo a cargo de estos servicios. Juan, Marisol, gracias por estar con nosotros en Adelante.
Gracias por invitarnos. Es un honor para nosotros estar aquí en tu programa.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Juan, háblanos de cómo está estructurado, de cómo es que se provee el programa de drogas y alcohol en UCC.
Bueno, uno de los primeros puntos que quiero decirte es que UCC se compone de 3 áreas principales que estamos enfocados en la educación, en lo que son los envejecientes y lo que es el programa de recursos sociales, que es lo que nos vamos a concentrar en el día de hoy. Y esta área se compone de 3 servicios básicos, que son el área de residencial para mujeres y hombres, 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana, y consejería externa y tratamiento diario.
Esa es una forma en que están establecidos los servicios. Ahora, Marisol, explícanos de qué manera se proveen estos 3 niveles de servicios para las personas que están enfrentando las consecuencias del abuso de las drogas y el alcohol.
Bueno, los 3 niveles de tratamiento, los componentes son consejería individual, grupos diarios y a veces salud mental si se necesita.
¿Qué más existen estos programas? Por ejemplo, ¿se quedan internadas las personas o son pacientes que van y vienen?
Tenemos, bueno, los 3 niveles. El nivel más intenso es residencial y eso es 24 horas al día y viven ahí en las casas residenciales que tenemos nosotros. Tratamiento diario es de lunes a viernes y tratamiento externo es 2 veces a la semana.
Bien. ¿Cuál es la experiencia que tú has tenido, Juan, al frente de un programa tan importante respecto del reto que existe de poder concientizar a las personas que están siendo víctimas de las drogas y el alcohol para que se inscriban en este tipo de programas?
Yo entiendo que uno de los retos más grandes que nosotros tenemos es que como latinos hay veces que pensamos que podemos con el problema que tenemos en casa y no queremos ir a buscar ayuda más allá. Y ya cuando nos venimos a dar cuenta, estamos en una situación ya que en muchas ocasiones es un poquito tarde. Dentro de United Community Center lo que nosotros estamos tratando de hacer es hacer un outreach para que las personas se enteren de nuestros programas y que vengan directamente. Uno de los beneficios principales para el latino es que los servicios de nosotros son dirigidos para los latinos y tenemos un personal completamente bilingüe y con mucho entendimiento de la cultura de nosotros.
Eso debe ser muy importante para el éxito de los tratamientos. ¿Cuáles son los requisitos? ¿Quiénes son las personas que podrían calificar y cuánto cuesta, Marisol, para nuestra audiencia que alguna persona reciba los servicios para combatir las consecuencias del uso de drogas y alcohol?
Bueno, el primer requisito es que tenga 28 años o más. Después de eso, en el departamento de nosotros, uno puede llegar a hacerse una evaluación para ver si hay fondos del condado para que le paguen el tratamiento. También tomamos planes médicos y hacemos pagos privados basado en el salario de la familia.
O sea que hay oportunidades para que todas las familias no duden de tomar la determinación de poder llevar a sus familiares que están requiriendo los servicios.
Sí, nunca debe de haber duda. Nosotros trabajamos con las familias en ayudarle en lo que podemos.
Bien, ahora, ¿cómo ves tú cuando las familias se presentan con una persona? ¿Cuál es la mayor dificultad que ustedes tienen, como lo comentaba con Juan, para poder internar o para poder iniciar la administración de servicios para la persona que lo necesita? ¿Qué es lo que los padres pueden hacer cuando la persona que lo necesita se niega a asistir y tomar tratamiento?
Bueno, cuando la persona se niega, lo que uno puede hacer es llegar para que les demos una consulta por lo menos o avisarle y explicarle cómo es el tratamiento, qué es lo que va a pasar, para que uno esté de acuerdo y ya cuando uno llega a veces uno se siente más conforme con estar ahí o se siente mejor porque somos todos latinos, uno se siente ahí mejor estar ahí.
Bien, o sea que la familia realice una tarea de convencimiento y cuando menos en una sola ocasión acuda a ustedes y vea de qué se va a tratar, cuál va a ser el procedimiento para que tengan mayor confianza.
Sí.
Bien, ahora, ¿cuáles son los trabajos que hace UCC para prevenir el uso de drogas y alcohol? Ustedes tienen niños y jóvenes en el área de educación. ¿Hay algunos programas que trabajan en prevención, Juan, o no es algo que UCC ha estado trabajando?
Definitivamente sí, nosotros tenemos programas preventivos, inclusive la escuela de nosotros Tiene sobre 1000 niños que vienen desde 3 años hasta 8º grado. Y dentro de todos los programas que tenemos muchos programas culturales, los mantenemos en ejercicios, los mantenemos todas las tardes. Es una de las pocas escuelas que requiere que los niños se queden después de la escuela para que hagan sus asignaciones y cualquier otro tipo de ayuda que necesiten. Se tiene muchachos que los van a ayudar en eso, más los niños que están un poquito más atrasados. Los maestros de ellos personalmente se quedan y los ayudan. Eso los motiva mucho a los estudios. El programa que tenemos de música es enorme y nos está dando unos resultados fabulosos. Los niños de nosotros están catalogados como uno de los niños que mejor están haciendo cuando toman los exámenes para ir a la escuela superior. Y de ahí nosotros los seguimos para asegurarnos de que ellos se van a graduar de la escuela superior y van a llegar a universidad.
Pues los felicitamos por el trabajo que hacen, les agradecemos tanto que vengan y que ofrezcan estos servicios que realmente pueden cambiar la calidad de vida de nuestras familias, y esperamos que continuemos recibiendo mayor información de ustedes, no solo en esta área, pero en los demás programas que siempre benefician a los latinos. Muchas gracias, Juan y Marisol. Gracias. Y al final de un programa más de Adelante, por favor déjenos saber sus comentarios en nuestro teléfono 297-7544 o escríbanos a nuestra dirección de correo electrónico en adelante@matc.edu. Y visítenos en nuestro sitio del internet en mptv.org y en Facebook. Sintonícenos en Milwaukee Public Television, canales 10.1 y 36.2, todos los martes a las 6:30 de la tarde, y en canal 36.1 los miércoles a las 12:30 de la medianoche y los domingos a las 5:30 de la tarde. En Wisconsin Public Television WPT 38.2 los martes a las 6 de la tarde y los jueves a la 1 de la mañana. Y en MPTV VEMI 10.3 los viernes a las 6:30 de la tarde y los domingos a las 8 de la mañana. Soy Patricia Gómez, gracias por acompañarnos.